Hey, welcome everybody. On today's video, we are going to be looking at Hey, welcome everybody. It's Andrew here with This Bike Life, and today we are going to be doing a long-term review and maybe just an overview about the Smith 4Front 2 helmet. This is the helmet that I wore for the better part of this past season, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you because we are going to be retiring this and moving on to my next helmet. So stay tuned after the break and let's go over all the details. So the Smith 4Front 2 is going to be considered your classic trail / maybe even enduro half shell lid. It is very light. You are going to be looking at extended back coverage, so it's going to come down pretty far down the back of your head. It's going to have, I would say, average side coverage. I have a pretty tall head, and I would say it doesn't come down to maybe like my upper ear as some helmets would, so I would say average depth on the sides. As far as your peak or your visor, it is going to be a little bit on the shorter side. So in terms of actually blocking sun, it's not going to do the best job there and fall a little bit short. I typically ride my visors a little bit on the higher side, so it even diminishes that feature even more. But I would say it's going to be more style than function, although it will keep the sun a little bit out of your face. So let's look at the construction of the helmet. Now this is going to be Smith's premium lid. It's going to retail for about $240. It's the top of the range lid, but with that you get a lot of cool features. First and foremost, Smith is famous for their Koroyd. Koroyd is basically, if you think of like a honeycomb, as far as depth wise, it's going to be probably around a centimeter thick. And basically it just allows for like these little crush zones, dissipate energy, and just provide a little bit more protection than whether instead of this being just completely open. So other features that you'll see on a lid of this type compared to their less expensive lids is you're going to have full plastic covering all of its foam, so a lot of that foam won't get dinged up or chip out over time. It's going to come up underneath and even fully wrap under the bottom to where it meets the inside of the shell. So really polished in terms of construction. The finish, I would consider this as more of a probably matte to matte satin. If you do like a little like silicone spray or a cleaner, it will kind of shine up and have a sheen to it, but over time it will kind of revert back to a full matte type finish. You're going to have a 3-position peak or visor, so this is in its lowest position. You can move it up 1, which is the position I normally ride it in, and then you can go up even more to a tallest. This will probably be more to where if you are wanting to rest some goggles kind of right here. Also available from Smith are some inserts that you can put into this little crevice here. One for a GoPro mount and one for a light mount. Alright, so looking inside the helmet, you're going to see a MIPS liner. Now if you don't know what MIPS is, basically MIPS is a layer that slips in between what older helmets had the foam and where your pads actually connect to. So your pads are going to connect to this little layer, and this is designed to slide around to help dissipate forces, so it's not jerking your head with you. It's going to, if you have an impact with your helmet, it's going to slip separate from this little insert in here. The pads are designed to be antimicrobial, so if you sweat a lot or have a lot of odor, it's supposed to help cut down on any odor that you may emit from your head. Now, Smith being a company that has a lot of different hard goods, they do have their own line of eyewear. This is going to be really well designed to go with their goggles if you wanted to wear like their Smith Squad goggles with this helmet. As far as the top of a goggle, these aren't Smiths, but these are my Oakleys. But as far as integration goes, the Squads are going to be nice and perfect. And actually mine are nice and integrated as well. You can see, which makes it really nice. What's a cool, neat little feature that maybe you did or wouldn't know is Smith actually has this channel that goes all the way around the lid, and that's designed actually so that you can clip in some eyewear if you're going to maybe climb, or if it was late at night and you just needed it to hold on to something. So these being Oakleys are not quite going to grab as maybe like their Smith eyewear, but if you're going to just pedal around or climb, these would work just fine, but they will fall out fairly easily. Adjustments, you're going to be looking at being able to reposition the height of this so you can actually move it up or down depending on if you feel like this is hitting maybe the top of your neck, or if you don't feel like it's secure enough and it is kind of riding up higher. And then also you have this little ratchet dial to cinch it in over your head to get your desired fit and position. So here are my takeaways after having this lid for this last season. I really like the style and design. I'm pretty particular about my helmets. I have a pretty large head. I typically have to go for a large or like a large extra large. I'm about between that 62 and 63 centimeter range. This is a large, and I would say with my hair being as short as it is now, this is going to fit me just about at its max. So if you have a pretty big head, definitely try or try it and return it if it doesn't quite fit, just because it's definitely going to fit a narrower margin of heads, in my opinion. Now, my one particular gripe about this helmet is, in my opinion, it runs hot. It has a lot of vents. I would say it has 20 plus vents all the way around. It's got a lot of intake vents, even on like your forehead, a lot of exiting vents. But that being said, I don't think the Koroyd really helps venting. I think it actually hinders it. I've seen some reviews where they say that this is a very well venting helmet, and that may be the case, but maybe because my head fills up this helmet more than others, maybe I don't quite get that same effect. So if you have a larger dome and you're filling up the majority of the space in this helmet, you may experience that this is going to run a little bit hotter than normal. I would probably put this in between like my Troy Lee A1 that I used to have and like a Giro Chronicle. Best venting helmet that I've ever had was a Specialized Ambush, and this can't even hold a candle to even coming close to venting as well as my Ambush did. So why does it run hot? Well, basically it has a lot of holes. You see a lot of the holes and you're like, oh yeah, he can escape. That may be the case, but I think it's not going to let air kind of escape in a good manner because if you look at like these vents up here, the Koroyd is about 1 centimeter thick, and it's not going to flow, into your head. It's going to probably just skim over that Koroyd surface. Really the only parts where you're going to get direct air intake is the front, because the Koroyd is facing out forward. And even in the back with, it's got this one open port here in the back, and then the rest is Koroyd. I find that the back of my head sweats quite a bit, even with shorter hair. That being said, I still really love this helmet. It was one of the better fitting helmets that I had for me. It's going to come with a cool little bag, which is a nice little addition for storage, keeping it from being scuffed around in like your gear bag. One side of it's going to be mesh, so it's going to allow for it to dry out after a ride, and if you did sweat a lot in it. But overall, I did like it. But the biggest reason for me moving on from this helmet is just going to be the ventilation. Hey, so if there was a detail that I missed, or if you have any follow-up questions about the Smith Forefront 2, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. I'm excited to get my new helmet to try for next season, and you'll definitely be seeing me go over that helmet as well. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.